Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to share a few thoughts as part of this important conversation. We're pleased to partner with the Atlantic to shine a light on critical issues facing our colleges and universities, and more importantly, the students that they serve. Reopening higher education safely is essential for preserving and expanding opportunity in this country. But it also raises a big question. Reopen to what? The past several weeks and months have driven home some uncomfortable truths about who we are as a nation. We are a nation that has yet to confront systemic racism and the widening gap between the haves and the have-nots. And we are a nation that wants to believe that higher education is the great equalizer. But we must accept the fact that it isn't. Not yet. As a reminder, Black Americans get college degrees at lower levels than white Americans today than they did in 1990. A white adult is twice as likely to have at least an associate's degree as a Latinx adult. And these were the realities before COVID-19. Recent data from our colleagues at Strata Education Network show that the pandemic is disrupting educational plans for Black and Latinx students at twice the rate of white students. So for me, the conversation about simply reopening is not enough. Yes, it is important to talk about class schedules and budgets, PPE and physical distancing. But beyond that, we cannot and must not accept the return to a status quo that already left behind too many Americans. Reopening conversations absolutely have to include the question of redesign. What changes can be made so that our higher education system will be more focused on students, more sustainable, and more just? We don't pretend to have all the answers, but our Foundation's post-secondary team and their partners are hard at work on priorities centered on that question. First, we are investing in better supporting today's students. Our students aren't just students. Many of them are parents, they're caregivers, and workers. And the idea that a student would have to drop out because of an unplanned expense like a car repair, or to lose a semester of credit in transfer was not acceptable before, and it's not acceptable now. To address situations like this, we are investing in technology tools and support for colleges and universities to distribute emergency aid to their students and in policies and practices that make the transfer process more transparent and more focused on students. Second, we are investing in quality teaching and learning. In a world where online and combined online and in-person classes are and will be the rule and not the exception, strong teaching matters more than ever. The digital divide is real for students and for faculty. And that's why we're partnering to help more faculty do what they do best, but in a more online and hybrid world. And we're also helping gather evidence that will enable colleges and universities to better target their efforts to bridge the digital divide. And finally, we are investing in what comes next. There are so many predictions right now, and many of them will be wrong. And Bill and Melinda always ask, what is the evidence? And it is along those lines that we're supporting data modeling to gauge the potential impact of the current situation on states and institutions. We're also expanding academic supports for displaced students and severely affected campuses. So, let's have a conversation about reopening. And let's commit to it not being about reopening to business as usual. Let's use this moment to bring higher education closer to its aspiration of being the great equalizer, one that adds value to the lives of even more of our students. And I will leave you with two questions. A year from now, what is the story about reopening that you will tell? And is it the story you wanted to tell? The choices you make going forward will write that story. Thank you.